Thank you, Steph. Of course, our top story, chaos in the U.S. on Capitol Hill. Here's just a look at some of the things we've been watching.
We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. I know how you feel, but go home and go home in peace.
Our democracy is under unprecedented assault, unlike anything we've seen in modern times. An assault on the citadel of liberty.
And reaction continues to pour in this morning after a day of intense violence in the U.S. that saw Donald Trump supporters flooding the halls of the Capitol. Despite efforts to challenge the process, senators returned to their chamber overnight, guarded by dozens of heavily armed police, and tallied the electoral votes, officially certifying the U.S. election victory for Joe Biden. Now, the mayor of Washington making no bones about it. She lays the blame for yesterday's unprecedented rioting in her city and at the Capitol at the feet of Trump.
To our fellow Americans, I know that I speak for all of us when I say that we saw an unprecedented attack on our American democracy incited by the United States president, and he must be held accountable.
One woman shot dead. 3 others died of medical issues. 52 people were arrested, 14 officers injured, 2 remain in hospital. Our coverage will continue here through the morning. And to some other stories we're watching today here at home. Travelers returning to Canada will now have to provide a negative COVID-19 test before boarding their flights. And these new rules take effect today, giving Canadians abroad just 1 week's notice after that change announced on New Year's Eve. And the test, it can be a maximum of 3 days old. It is mandatory for anyone aged 5 and up coming into Canada. But industry experts say the rules are still unclear. And this comes as the Ford government announced it is offering free and voluntary COVID testing for international travelers that arrive in Ontario for at least 14 days. Let's get to Quebec now, imposing an overnight curfew in its battle against COVID-19, with Premier Legault saying people need to be jolted into recognizing the seriousness of this pandemic. For 4 weeks, starting this Saturday, Quebecers won't be allowed on the streets from 8 p.m. until 5 in the morning. Anyone breaking the rules can be fined up to $6,000. The government also considering creating documents for people who have to be out after that curfew. Quebec is the first province to take such drastic measures, but the Ontario government has not ruled out similar action. Some of Toronto's 1,300 paramedics are expected to begin receiving their COVID vaccines starting today. The EMS unit chair for QB Local 416 saying members are excited to roll up their sleeves.
You know, pardon the pun, but this is a good little arm to improve morale for now. It helps protect us, helps alleviate a lot of my members' fears out there, and it also helps protect the public.
So the goal here to have up to 150 paramedics vaccinated a day, immunizing all workers that want one over the next 2 weeks. City health officials say paramedics will also be trained on how to administer the shots to other frontline workers in the coming weeks. Now, we are going to be checking in with Mayor John Tory coming up just after the news here at 7 o'clock for a look at the latest COVID-related city issues. But of course, we will get his reaction on what's happening south of the border. It is 6:38 right now. We are taking a quick break. We'll see you after this.